Broadcasting from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. Tanzania to boost IT systems in aviation industry.
Tanzania stakeholders will be able to, especially the pilots, will be able to fly flight plans from the comfort of their location.
DIT vows better days ahead for CNG users.
When we are using natural gas, it is more safe as compared to other fuel.
Good evening, I am Nasa Kingu. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBC Online. The Director General of the Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority, TCAA, Hamza Johari, says his authority has signed a contract worth 9 billion Tanzanian shillings with one of the leading international developers of IT systems for the aviation industry, Aviation company. He was addressing journalists in Dar es Salaam, insisting that the contract targets to ensure the air information is given in the right manner and at the right time.
Shirika la usafiri wa anga duniani lilishaweka utaratibu kwamba mataifa yote duniani.
The International Civil Aviation Organization has established a procedure that all nations in the world should get rid of the old system of exchanging air information and adopt a modern system which is the overall management of air information that to ensure that the information is provided on time. We have improved our sky services as the product in the sense that all users can use the sky, as we made sure that we have better writing system for surveillance through the radar project, which ensure that everything that flies in the sky can be seen.
Angani kinaweza kuonwa na ili kuweza kusimamia anga ili vizuri.
On the other hand, the project manager Simon Masike says upon completion, the project will inspire more young Tanzanians to get into the aviation sector.
We believe at the end of this project, Tanzania stakeholders will be able to, especially the pilots, will be able to fly flight plans from the comfort of their location. In addition, they'll have access to the right aeronautical information needed for flight planning. By so doing, it will enhance their flight operation and efficiency of their flight planning. And furthermore, in terms of Tanzania CAA, it will enhance their compliance to ICAO relevant standard and recommended practices. For instance, compliance to Annex 15, PENS AIM, and Amendment 79 to Annex 3. That is for exchange of operational meteorological data in what is called IWXM format.
The 1.5-year deal includes designing, supplying, installing, testing, integrating, and commissioning the Aeronautical Information Management System to improve flight safety in the Tanzanian airspace. The number of people who opt for compressed natural gas as an alternative fuel in Tanzania continues to grow. In 2018, when the technology was introduced in the country, there were about 40 cars connected to the service, but now the number has increased to 2,500. What does the future hold for those opting to use a compressed natural gas system in Tanzania? We are joined by Dr. Esebi Nyari, who is the manager of natural gas from DIT, talking to my colleague, Kanke Mwaigomole.
We are talking to Dr. Esebi Nyari, who's the natural gas manager from DIT. How safe are these tanks in the boot?
Yeah, the tanks which we are using are safer, but also the gas itself is safer because natural gas is lighter than air. So once it gets out, it just go up, it leaves the environment safe. But also another issue is the temperature, auto-ignition temperature for natural gas is very high as compared to other fuel like petrol. It goes up to 540 centigrade as compared to petrol, which is 200 centigrade. Therefore, when you are using natural gas, it is more safe as compared to other fuel.
Isn't there any other place to place the tank rather than the boot?
Yeah, there is. If it is dedicated, the dedicated vehicles are the one which are manufactured to use natural gas without another fuel. That one they put under the car where there is a fuel tank. You can put it there and you just drive your car. But this one, because we are trying to retrofit, so we are putting into the boot, because we don't like it to use the space, or we don't like it to modify the cars which is already designed before.
In front of me, this tank is quite huge. Are all tanks this huge, or they have different sizes?
Yeah, there is a different sizes. There is a small one. There is even 3 kg. There is 8 kg.
And what's your take on certain concerns that there are some cars that cannot use natural gas? Is this true, or what do you do to install natural gas in the cars?
Yeah, all the cars, all the automobile, they can use the natural gas. The issues are.
Thank you so much. As you can see, that's a tank that is installed. It's a natural gas tank that has been installed on the boot of a car. And this is how it will look when you get natural gas installed in your car. According to Dr. Nyari, it might be expensive to install now, but very cheap in the long run. I'm Kanki Mwegomole for TBC News.
The Japanese ambassador to Tanzania, Yasushi Misawa, says Japan will work together with the Tanzanian government to optimize use of hydroelectric technology. He made the assurance during ultra-small water power generator seminar conducted at the University of Dar es Salaam earlier today.
The Sumino Seishakusho is a little different type of company which is producing and micro to hydro or power equipment, and I think that it will also provide additional possibility of cooperation between Japanese company and the Tanzanian communities and the society.
On the other hand, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research, Professor Nelson Boniface from the University of Dar es Salaam, says that the Japanese hydroelectric modern innovations will upskill the university graduates and enable them to employ themselves.
Can benefit our graduates since it's a simple technology. These guys can employ themselves. If they can generate this kind of small generators, they can get job for themselves by engaging in contributing to the energy sector in the country.
The government has allocated an amount of 1.7 billion shillings to rehabilitate the infrastructure at the Center of Development of Aquatic Organisms in Kingolowira, Morogoro municipality, so as to increase the fish farming productivity following infrastructural deterioration of the existing fish ponds. Elaborating on the government decision, the acting director of the center, Gilnes Frank, says that the improvements will help to increase the number of fish fingerlings from 50,000 to 1 million per month. Here's a report prepared by Remia Sinti and read by Lalua Muhammad.
The Kingolowira Aquaculture Development Center, despite having a great contribution to fish farming training to young people, but the fish ponds here seem to be in state of deterioration. As the result of this challenge, the government has started to implement a 6-year agriculture and fisheries development program, AFDP, which aims to improve the infrastructure at this center.
Kwa sababu sasa tutaweza kuzalisha kutoka vifaranga 300,000 mpaka milioni 1 kwa mwezi endapo mradi utakamilika.
When the project is completed, we'll be able to produce healthy fish from 300,000 up to 1 million per month. We'll also have 3 wells, so let's engage ourselves in fish farming so that we can raise our income, eliminate stunting, and improve our health. The project is also implemented by the National Seed Agency ASA together with the Tanzania Seed Quality Assurance Institute TOSCI, which aims to increase seed production as well as infrastructure.
The main goal of this program is to contribute to the integrated food system to improve livelihoods, nutrition, food security, and resilience to climate change. This program also aims to facilitate access to quality agricultural seeds to satisfy the availability of seeds in the country.
While in Morogoro region, The Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Office, Policy, Parliament and Coordination, Umi Nderiananga, directs all concerned with the implementation of the project to ensure that it is implemented effectively. We ask you to continue to work with dedication and professionalism. Put creativity into this area and do better. This program is for 6 years, but if we do better, we can get another project.
The Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Angela Kairuki, says she is committed to promote tourism within and outside the country, and she will set best strategies for the ministry's operations. She made the remarks during her first visit to the National Museum since she was appointed to lead the sector. Here is the report prepared by Hussein Shafi and read by Faidan Gaga.
Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Angela Kairuki, is visiting the National Museum for the first time since she was appointed as the Minister of the Tourism sector. Here, the museum officials elaborate what has been preserved here.
This station gives out a clear picture of a full human body system. It also has a history of a huge animal that existed 3,600,000 years ago.
While she is here with the Deputy Minister, they are figuring out a lot.
There are corrections from different parts of our country which deserve to be well preserved, and this heritage is good for Tanzanians to have the opportunity to learn. Her arrival is a springboard for Tanzanians and foreigners to have the custom of visiting tourist centers that are found in Tanzania, on the mainland and on the islands.
I love the first part of the origin of the human, and it was very well preserved and very well explained the history, so I really enjoy that part also. There are a lot of things that I miss, so I need to come back for sure.
These motives Tanzanians to visit these exhibitions. If such readers are the first to visit, even the community will not be left behind.
Very interesting how everything is organized, ranging from different periods here in Tanzania. So the visit is being very nice.
Minister Kairuki explains why she's here.
We are trying to find ways to attract tourists to come into the country, but also once they arrive this year, we have to be more creative so that they continue to come again in the years after by creating different fascinating exhibitions.
She also elaborates her plans and strategies after being appointed as the Minister of a crucial Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism.
Tunafanya kazi na wenzetu kuhakikisha kwamba tunafikisha matarajio yale ambayo Mheshimiwa Rais ameelekeza kwetu.
We're going to work hard together with our colleagues to make sure that we achieve the expectations that the Honorable President has directed us to do, the expectations that Tanzanians also have in us. I'm sure our hard work shall prevail.
The Lagos Hub, the world's largest floating library, carrying people from to distribute books to boost the reading culture amongst Tanzanians. Clarifying on the trip of the ship in Dar es Salaam, the organizers say upon arrival of the ship, it will offer an opportunity to deepen relations between Tanzania and other countries and stimulate people-to-people cooperation.
The one thing that it's good to know is President Samina Suluhu Hassan for her outstanding leadership and commitment. We also extend our heartfelt appreciation for their kind invitation to the Lagos Hub ship, which has enriched our time here in Dar es Salaam.
The vessel is the largest floating book fair in the world, housing over 5,000 different titles, including books of science, medicine, languages, sports, educational books, children books, and many more. The ship also provides help through practical aid to communities in the ports that we visit. This can vary from building projects to environmental programs, to painting projects, and also we facilitate vision tests among the people.
We're glad that the Logos Hub is coming back to Dar es Salaam from the 6th until the 22nd of October. We welcome everyone on board to come with your family and friends, come explore the 5,000 titles of books we have, and meet our international crew.
More than 51,000 Tanzanians are expected to have the opportunity to also read various books in the floating library, which are written by more than 5,000 authors around the world. Vodacom Tanzania has announced a dividend of 22 billion Tanzanian shillings to its shareholders, where each shareholder will receive a dividend of 9.95 shillings per share. This comes after the company announces a profit of 44.6 billion shillings this year, compared to a loss of 20 billion shillings that the company experienced in the last 3 consecutive years. Addressing journalists in Dar es Salaam, the managing director of Vodacom, Felipe Basimire, says the profit that the company has registered this year follows the continued presence of conducive business environment in the country, adding that internet services contribute largely to the
conclusion can be achieved through a number of ways, but most importantly, we need the infrastructure. And you will see from our financial report that we have invested a lot in infrastructure. First, I think the big investment last year to support our digital agenda was the investment we put into the spectrum auction. When we, in September last year, we acquired spectrum worth $63 million.
As today is Friday, we explore all the best in the tourism sector in Tanzania. It is a getaway destination near the Msasani Peninsula. If you want to head out for a refreshing swim or dive beneath ocean waves to explore a vibrant aquatic world, then this is the place to be. Faith Gaga has more details.
Characterized by calmness, beauty, and cleanliness, this is the Bongoyo Island. Bongoyo Island is part of the Dar es Salaam Marine Conservation Area. It is a leisure island mostly used for relaxation as a swimming and snorkeling beach that is close and easily accessible. It is an inhabited island in Tanzania, situated 2.5 kilometers north of the country's largest city, Dar es Salaam. It is one of the most frequently visited of the 4 islands of the Dar es Salaam Marine Reserve and a popular day trip for both tourists and Tanzanian residents. Welcome to Bongoyo Island. Welcome to Dar es Salaam.
And now, before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at the exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. Here is international news as compiled by Ramadan Mpenda and read by Kanki Mwaigomole.
Somali government is seeking a delay in the withdrawal of African Union peacekeeping forces in the country after suffering several significant setbacks in its fight against Al-Shabaab militants. Somali's National Security Advisor Hussein Sheikh Ali wrote the letter to the United Nations requesting a 90-day delay in the second phase of. But the Somali government, which is currently waging a war against Al-Shabaab militants, says it is facing significant obstructions. Resolutions passed by the UN have called for the complete withdrawal of the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia troops by the end of next year and fully hand over the responsibility of maintaining security to Somali National Forces. The force began the gradual drawdown of its troops in June. Sudan's Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan warned the United Nations that months of war in his country could fall over into other near nations. Speaking at the UN following a sequence of foreign troops, General al-Burhan also called on the international community to designate the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, as a terrorist organization and to target its sponsors outside Sudan's borders. He said the danger of this war is now a threat to regional and international peace and security, as those rebels have sought the support of outlaws and terrorist groups from different countries in the region and the world. Fighting broke out in Sudan on April the 15th after the collapse of a plan to integrate the army and the RSF led by Burhan's former deputy General Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo. And international aid continues to arrive in Libya after Storm Daniel wrought destruction on Derna and nearby coastal cities in eastern Libya on the night of September 10th, and after 2 abandoned dams broke. 2 aid flights arrived in Benghazi from Doha, along with a team from the Qatar Red Crescent, which stayed behind to help with the search and recovery operations. The Libyan Red Crescent said there is still a need for specialized teams and equipment as a large part of Derna reeks of death. Abdulaziz from the Qatar Red Crescent has said the Qatari aid shipments, which include everything from tents to medicine, will soon make their way to Derna via alternative routes, as the main roads to the city remain cut off because of the flood damage.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And now in sports news, ministers of sports from 3 countries, Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda, met in Dar es Salaam to finalize discussions on joint AFCON 2027 bid strategy known as EA Pamoja before the voting by the Executive Committee of African Confederation of Football CAF in Cairo on 27th of 2023. Speaking after the meeting, the Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Damas Numbaro, says all 3 countries are committed to make sure that the bid goes through and the 3 countries host the AFCON 2027 competition.
Our preparation is going very well. We have prepared a final document that will be presented in the final stage of voting for the bid of AFCON 2027, hoping that East African countries, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, will win and host the tournament.
Kenya, Uganda na Tanzania, na kwa umoja wetu tutaweza kushinda maombi yetu haya.
Hopes are that we should win this bid. Why? Because East Africa has never hosted this prestigious event, but also we know the passion of the East African community as far as
hospitality and accommodation is something that East Africa can be able to showcase.
Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania plan to host the biggest football tournament in the continent, which will be the first time in history of the competition. The president of Amputee Temporary Committee, Vincent Kaduma, calls on sports stakeholders to support their strategies of scouting and developing talents in the country. President Kaduma adds that amputee football needs more support from the stakeholders, especially in the areas of talent development.
We're able to go to Turkey, who are considered a part of professional prayer. So we want to develop. This is not only in Turkey, but also in different countries through their talents. The heart is there, and they like to apply themselves. We will be doing them no justice if we cannot complete it. And I believe the government eyes is on this through this.
Sikivu kwao, tutaendana na miongozo waliotuwekea na kuhakikisha kwamba kila kitu kinakwenda vizuri.
The Amputee Temporary Committee has been granted the mandate of supervising amputee football in the country by the government, and they insist on amendment of the constitution and registrations of new members. Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Damas Nubaro, and the Ambassador of Ireland to Tanzania, Mary O'Neill, have agreed to collaborate to improve women football. Furthermore, Dr. Nubaro urges the Ambassador to support Tanzania in capacity building for sports professionals and infrastructure. Tanzania and Ireland have historical ties in areas such. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello viewers, it's me Joyce Makwata from Tanzania Meteorological Authority, and this is 24 hours weather forecast starting from tonight. Generally, we expect wind to flow at speed of 30 km/h for Lake Nyasa as well as northern coast. While over the southern coast, Lake Victoria and Tanganyika, we expect wind to flow at speed of 20 km/h. In terms of minimum temperature, we expect the lowest minimum temperature to be 11 degrees Celsius over Njombe region. And during the night, Kagera, Geita, Mwanza, Mara, and Kigoma, we expect to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas. And the rest part of the country, just partly cloudy condition. For tomorrow, Kagera, Geita, Mwanza, and Mara, we expect to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun period. We expect partly cloudy condition and sun period. And now let's have the next 4 days weather forecast. Dear viewers, from TMY, that is what we have for today. Thanks for watching and wish you a good night.
That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingo. Good night.